It started with a cup of coffee and a moment that would change everything. The kind of morning you don't expect to turn into a story people will one day call destiny. The rain had just begun to fall, soft, steady, rhythmic, and inside that small corner cafe, a man sat quietly, staring into his half-empty mug, unaware that the universe was about to test his kindness. His name was Daniel Brooks, a single dad with tired eyes and a heart still learning how to hope again. He wasn't rich, not even close. He lived paycheck to paycheck, juggling his job as a mechanic and raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. But what he lacked in wealth, he carried in compassion. That morning, the cafe was warm, filled with the faint smell of roasted beans and fresh croissants. Daniel had just dropped Lily at school and stopped for a cheap cup of coffee before work. He wasn't there to meet anyone. He didn't believe in miracles anymore. Not since his wife passed away 3 years ago in a car accident that still played on repeat in his head every time he saw flashing lights. He had built walls around his heart, convincing himself love was something that belonged to another version of him, one that no longer existed. But fate doesn't ask for permission before walking into your life. At the corner table, a woman sat alone, dressed simply but elegantly, jeans, white shirt, hair pulled into a soft bun. She looked out the window, lost in thought. Her name was Ava Sinclair. Most people would never guess she was one of the youngest billionaires in the country, owner of a massive investment firm that bore her family's legacy. But in that moment, she wasn't thinking about wealth or power, she was thinking about how empty all of it felt. The people around her smiled because of her name, not her soul. The men she met saw her fortune before her heart. And so she sat in silence, quietly wishing someone would see her as just Ava. That's when it happened. Two men at the counter began whispering, their voices rising, their tone sharp. Daniel glanced over, something didn't sit right. One of them had approached Ava, leaning too close, trying to spark a conversation she clearly didn't want. She politely declined once, then again, but he didn't back off. Daniel saw the unease in her eyes. Without thinking twice, he stood up. He didn't care who she was, he just knew right from wrong. Hey, she said. No, Daniel said firmly, stepping between Ava and the man. The stranger scoffed. What's it to you, man? Mind your business. This is my business. When someone doesn't feel safe. There was a brief silence, heavy and electric. The man tried to stare him down, but Daniel didn't flinch. His calm but unshakable presence made the guy back off, muttering under his breath as he and his friend left. The cafe's tension broke like a glass hitting the floor. Ava exhaled slowly, eyes wide, heart racing. Thank you, she said softly. Daniel shrugged. You don't have to thank me. No one deserves to be treated like that. He didn't know who she was, and she didn't tell him. She just smiled faintly, her lips trembling as if she wanted to say more. There was something disarming about his humility, something rare. He didn't see her diamond earrings or her luxury handbag. He saw a woman. They talked for a while, about coffee, about rainy mornings, about life. Daniel spoke about his daughter, his late wife, how he sometimes still sets 2 plates at dinner out of habit. Ava listened, genuinely, something she hadn't done in a long time. When he laughed, she laughed too. It was simple. Real. When she asked for his number, he hesitated. I'm not really in a place for anything fancy, he said, embarrassed. I'm just a guy trying to do right by my kid. Ava smiled softly. Maybe that's exactly the kind of person I've been trying to meet. They exchanged numbers, and as he left, she watched him through the window, rain falling between them like a curtain of fate. Something deep inside her whispered that this man, this ordinary single dad, might just change everything. The days that followed turned into weeks, and what began as a simple thank you became long conversations, laughter, and shared silences that felt like peace. Daniel didn't know the truth about Ava, and she wasn't ready to tell him. She loved how he treated her, no hidden motives, no agenda. He was kind even when no one was watching, but every story that feels too good to be true meets its storm point. One night, Daniel received a call. His daughter had fallen sick. He rushed her to the hospital, terrified. Ava showed up, her expression breaking when she saw him pacing the hallway. She wanted to help, to comfort him, to use every resource she had. But that meant revealing who she really was. He looked at her in confusion when she arrived with doctors and private nurses at her side. Ava, what is this? Who are these people? She took a deep breath, tears in her eyes. Daniel, there's something I should have told you. I'm not just Ava. My full name is Ava Sinclair. He froze. The name hit him like a wave. Even he had heard it, Sinclair Holdings, one of the wealthiest families in the country. He took a step back. You're a billionaire? Yes, she whispered. But please, that doesn't change who I am with you. I just wanted someone to see me for me. Daniel looked away, conflicted. You think money doesn't change things? You think it doesn't matter? My life isn't perfect, Ava. I can't give you anything fancy. You belong in a different world. Her tears fell. Daniel, I don't want your money or your world. I just want your heart. But pain has a way of silencing the truth. He walked away that night, torn between pride and love, between what he felt and what he feared. Ava stayed by Lily's side in the hospital, never leaving until she was stable. When Daniel finally returned, he found her asleep in the chair beside his daughter's bed, holding Lily's hand. His chest tightened. He realized something: this woman, billionaire or not, had shown more love than most people ever had. He sat beside her quietly. You didn't have to stay, he whispered. Ava woke slowly and smiled. I didn't want to be anywhere else. That moment broke the last of his walls. In the months that followed, they built something real, no lies, no masks. Ava found joy in small things: cooking breakfast with Lily, helping Daniel fix the old truck in his garage, walking by the lake on weekends. She didn't need the world's approval. She had finally found what money could never buy: love that saw beyond everything. And one evening, as the sun painted the sky gold, Daniel turned to her and said, You could have had anyone in the world. Why me? Ava smiled, eyes glistening. Because you were the only one who defended me before knowing I was worth anything. He took her hand, whispering, You were always worth everything. The camera would fade. There rain outside the cafe again, echoing where it all began, because sometimes the universe hides love behind the most ordinary moments, and all it takes is a single act of kindness to change two lives forever.